Let's do this. Oh, that was so pitiful. I was so worked up for that one, too. Life does not go as you always plan, but we'll keep that in there. I know it's been a bit. Kathleen is doing trade shows right now, and I need to use her computer to hook up to the special scanner, yada, yada, yada. You cats know the drill already. So what I was going to do is review some items that I have been looking forward to for a while and just trying to get the time for. And the first of those I want to talk about is Shintaro Kago's Parasitic City Volume 0, or number 0. This was put out by Hollow Press, amazing comic publisher out of Italy. Probably where I get the majority of my Shintaro Kago items, because he's one of the few, or they are one of the few, that are actually publishing works like this. They also publish a lot of really great stuff. I highly encourage, I'll put the link down in the description box below, you to go check them out. The interesting thing with them, and I'll just note this, I live in Crown Heights, Brooklyn. Our postal service is horrible. Absolutely horrible. I posted pictures on my Instagram of the way things are delivered. They just come and throw stuff down, and the entryway is insane. When you order from Hollow Press, they always have, it's extra to insure, which makes sense coming from Italy. However, being broke like I normally am, I do not insure stuff. I have never missed a shipment from Hollow Press, which I find amazing and a testament to just how great they are. So before we even start, I would have no qualms in recommending Hollow Press. Obviously, they're not gonna sponsor someone with, I think, less than 100 viewers, much less than 100 viewers. So, I'm just telling you like it is. They're a great place to go. But, however, I digress. Let's get back to Shintaro Kago's Parasitic City Volume 0. There's the front cover, there's the back cover. If you watch my other book reviews, especially for comics and works like that, heavily illustrated, you know that I normally like to go in and show you page by page. Just leaf through it so you get a good idea. With this comic, I am not going to be able to do that. Not and stay on YouTube. If you saw my previous review of the Shintaro Kago art book, I'll link that at the end of it. And just know that Shintaro Kago is an amazing manga artist who is, I don't know how to describe his work. It's surreal and erotic. It is Iruguru, but his own very specific brand of Iruguru. I'm a huge fan of his artwork. If you are a fan of Flying Lotus, you have probably seen his work on that album cover. I even bought the deluxe double vinyl. I'm such a huge fan of both. So when this was announced, I jumped on it immediately. And first of all, the paper stock on this is incredible. Extremely heavyweight paper stock, and it's just beautiful. It's creamy to the texture. Wonderful thing. Now, the story. The artwork's going to be astounding. And I did take pictures of the pages and sections that I could show, so you have an idea. And I'm just going to, I don't want to shrink them down in the corner over here. I want you to be able to really see some of those details. So I'll put this at the end, all by themselves, so you get like the full-blown thing on it. So hopefully that helps. But like I said, and as I tell you briefly about the story, I'm not going to go too spoilery. There's a reason for this. So what happens in Parasitic City is you're introduced to a society that is constantly at war with some other entity or government. It's never made clear. It's very vague. In this way, I think the best way to sum up this comic is if Celine and who else would be good just from that? Celine and Cronenberg teamed up with Mobius to create an idea for a comic book. You would probably get Parasitic City, because this war's been going on forever. People have kind of forgotten why it is, but due to it, there are a lot of amputees within Parasitic City. And the story starts with a woman who's, it seems as if she was a soldier. She becomes a quad amputee, ends up in a hospital with a lot of other people, eventually is released to her own apartment. But what can she do, you know? She's a quad amputee, so once a week, the government gives her rations of recycled food, yada, yada, yada. Here's where we get into the Cronenberg thing. They also outfit her with bio-clothing, which recycles her urine, her blood, her menstrual blood, feces, all of this in order to feed its own offspring, which it lays its eggs within her once a week. Those eggs are hatched, I guess. I told you this is a wild one. And those eggs are then fed to the furniture because the furniture is bioengineered, so it needs to be fed or it gets hungry and it dies. However, like all organisms, before it dies, it will seek to reproduce, to carry on its genetic bloodline. Yeah, I told you it was out there. So this poor woman's been laying in this rundown apartment where even the water just smells like oil. And finally, her brother Robert shows up going, "Why haven't you responded to my letters?" I don't know how he expected her to. Anyways, he has arranged for her to receive government-provided bioprosthetics, which, like everything else in this world, they're bioengineered organisms, which will feed off their host, hence Parasitic City, and will allow her mobility and the ability to move. So she has to be trained or train herself because there is no funding supplied. There's some very good parallels with American medical care right now. So he helps her train in order to be able to control these bioprosthetics. Once she is able to, he takes her to a club called the Blue Rider, and it's not so much a club as I would say almost a support group for other injured veterans where they can talk about their struggles. And they talk about politics, but they live in a society where to criticize the government is prohibited and treasonous, and this government is repressive, is all get out, as you see from various panels throughout it. So they don't really talk about the situation within the government except for private conversations, and then those are also fraught with peril because with everything being bioengineered, you're not sure what's listening in. And then she meets Rudolph, who's kind of this charismatic individual, and she's not sure whether he just runs his mouth off all the time or if he's truly brewing almost a revolutionary movement. I'm not even high yet. So anyways, she meets Rudolph. There's a mutual attraction, and that's when it really kicks into high gear because their prosthetics will work whether they're attached to them or not, since it responds to brainwaves. And everyone there being multiple amputees with too much time on their hand, yeah, you can kind of guess what happens. And a lot of varied combinations. Like, you could say this was pansexual, but if the entire world was sexual, it's out there. And they have like these huge jungle gym type structures in order to rehabilitate these people, which they put to use along with these bioengineered prostheses to explore pretty much everything possible. I get, I'm skirting around the issue because, man, I just can't come out and say it. That, and I don't want to spoil anything. This is truly a mind-bending work. In the back, Hollow Press says that there's going to be, I believe it goes up to issue number 6. I think the last one comes out in 2026, so no, it may be just 4 issues that are coming out of this, but so you'll have issue number 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they'll be coming out in successive years, and I will buy each and every copy of these, not just because I'm a huge fanboy for Kago's work, but The storyline is just surreal, and it is just Irregardless nonsense from top to bottom. Like I said, Celine and Cronenberg, I am all for this. Throw in some Burroughs in there, and I think you've got a winning combination. I just can find no fault. It's Shintaro Kago, so the artwork is impeccable. The storyline is completely bonkers, and I absolutely adore every minute of it. I think it's an amazing piece of work. I don't honestly know where he's gonna go from here. Like, his imagination constantly blows me away. But yeah, I've rambled on too much. We'll end with the pictures, let you look at those, and I will see you soon with another review. Cause love y'all. Thanks for listening to my rambling, and take care out there. Bye.